Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Gabe, and this is Gabe Loves Makeup. I hope everybody is having a great day today so far. We are just gonna dive right in today, guys, because I'm telling you, I've got a lot of foundations to review lately. I'm getting quite a few, so you guys are gonna be seeing a lot of newer foundation reviews from me. So just sit back and relax, because I'm telling you, they're coming. But anyway, we are starting today with the new Teint Idole Ultra Wear Stick by Lancome. And we also have the new Tarte Shape Tape Ultra Creamy Concealer. We have that to review today. So we are just gonna dive right in. But before we get started, I just wanted to say hi. My name is Gabe. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad you guys checked me out. You know, I am a 49-year-old makeup artist. I've been in the industry for 25 plus years. I've been in retail for almost 35 years. So I just decided to start a YouTube channel as of last year, you know, because it's something I've always wanted to do. And so I'm here and we're just kind of doing it. We're just going with it. So anyway, I'm so glad you're here. If you're my old subscribers, welcome. I'm so glad you guys are back. So anyway, let's just dive right started. I'm just gonna tell you just a little bit about the foundation. So let me take it out of the box. It actually has it's just a component that actually, it looks just like this. It has the Lancome on the end of it. It's really beautiful. You know, just to give you a little background information, I worked for Lancome for a very, very long time. Actually, it was the company that I worked with the longest. So when this foundation actually first launched, because this is a reformulated version of it, it had an SPF in it, had like a 21 in it, I believe, and it was still the long wear, the ultra wear stick, and that kind of sort of stuff. So they've repackaged it because it had more of a plastic lid on the top of it. So they've repackaged it. They made it a lot more sleeker than it was before. Before it was a little, it wasn't cheap, but it just didn't look, it's structured now. It looks more structured. It has, of course, the little magnetic top on it, so it kind of like pops on and off. The other one popped off a lot easier, so this is a little bit better. And then it has a little blending tool on the end of it if you want to blend or if you want to contour or whatever with it, as the directions will tell you. But it's really, really pretty packaging. But what it is a 24-hour wear, full coverage, oil-free, multitasking foundation stick with a built-in kabuki brush, as you saw. It's transfer-resistant cream to powder. Formula provides a natural matte finish and control shine all day. And you guys know that I'm not much of a natural matte person. If you guys are new to my channel, I will leave my description of my skin type on the side here, so you guys can see what my skin type is, what formulas I normally like, what I kind of normally look for in a foundation, and what I normally like. The reason why I did pick up the stick, because since they reformulated it, I used to actually really like this product when I worked for the company. It is just a really, really good product. For some reason, it worked well with my skin. So that's one of the reasons why I kind of picked it up. So I thought, well, if the old formula worked, then I'm sure that this one would. It's like, what else you need to know about it? It is a 5-in-1 multitask on-the-go format with a built-in kabuki brush to conceal, contour, cover, highlight, blend, and anywhere and anytime. Lightweight, silky texture applies seamlessly, blends effortlessly into the skin, second feel in 22 foundation shades and all undertones, and it is $43 retail. You get 0.33 ounce in it. So it's like, it doesn't seem like a lot of product. I don't want to roll it all the way up, but it's usually about this much, or the older one was. So I'm not really sure how much is in it, but it's not a ton. But you don't really need a lot with this product. It does go a long way, so usually you don't have to do a lot with it. But anyway, let's take off the top. I got the shade 420. Normally I'm in between 420, sometimes it's 350. But some of the Lancome shades are weird on me. It depends on which one, but usually this one normally works on my skin tone because I'm a little bit more of a medium to tan skin tone. So I'm gonna take a little bit on the back of my hand, as you can see here. But see, and it looks like it's gonna be really dark, but see how it just really effortlessly blends into the skin. It feels it's got that natural matte, powdery into the skin, immediate finish to it. Like there's not gonna be a lot of blending to it. The other one, you had to blend a little bit more. And it seemed like it had an SPF in it, so it had a 21 in it. So all the shades looked a little bit, not ashy, but they just had a little, you could tell it had the sunscreen in it. This one, they took the sunscreen out, and so now it's blending into the skin much, much better. Before, the other one was not cakey, but it just was, you just had to be careful with it on how you blended it and stuff. So So let's get right into it. So I'm gonna go, and then I'll go into the concealer once we get to that. So let's start with the foundation first. So I'm going to take I don't know what I wanna do, if I wanna do a brush first. You know, let's try a brush. I normally never do a brush, so I'm gonna use my Huda Build and Buff brush. I'm gonna use it just a little bit. We're gonna take a little bit right through here. I'm gonna just start with a little dab first, and then just take a little bit, because usually this product is very buildable normally. So, and you know, and you don't really need a lot of it. Now, I did already prep my skin already. I used the Lancome Prep and Hydrate. I used a little bit of that because I really love that primer. And then I took a little bit of my Chanel Le Beige Healthy Pearly Glow in it, and I took a little bit more of that on it because I know that I was going to get it's more of a matter finish to it, so I always make sure I'm really over hydrated. And I also did a very hydrating mask today too, just to make sure that it would look really smooth and pretty. Because even though it's like a natural matte finish, for some reason your skin always shines through with this product. So it's kind of buildable, so you can get a full coverage if you want to. I think when you get a full coverage with it though, it looks a little cakey. It's the same thing with the liquid. But I mean, but you can actually have a little bit more of a normal to dry skin and actually get by with this product. But if you don't really like much of a matte or whatever, or if you don't moisturize well, you are not going to get it's not going to look good on the skin. But yeah, it looks really pretty. It's a little bit more there. I'm going to tap a little bit more in here. I did a little bit of contour on this end, as if you're looking at my brush going, God, that's dirty. I mean, I did a little bit of contour, just a little bit around my neck before we started a little bit. Just to show you guys the difference between the skin. I don't think I'm gonna have to go back with the sponge either. Yeah, like you don't see it at all. Like, I mean, seriously, you don't, I mean, it goes right into the skin. It leaves a very natural finish. It's not really like dewy or glowy or anything like that. Of course, I put it on a little bit lighter, and I might build it up in a minute. We might build it up a little bit just to see how it builds, but it does look a lot smoother. The other one was definitely more matte, so it was really, really matte. This is more of a natural matte. It was more of a matte before. A little bit more on the oilier side. The original formula was definitely more matte. This one's a little bit more natural. So if you're really, really oily, this may, I mean, you might be able to use it for like a touch-up stick, to touch up things, because you're supposed to be able to use this as, you know, concealer. You can use it as a contour. You can get different shades in it to use it, or you can use it all over your face if you want. You're not supposed to have to use a powder with it. I'm not even gonna powder today because normally with this product, I don't normally, it's got that little bit of a powder finish to it, kind of like what the Apple did, that I just did with the KVD Beauty, and it has that kind of, that same kind of feel to it. I don't really care for like the matte stuff very much, so I mean, it's really, really, it's nice. Let's look at it again. Yeah, I mean, it gives, like, what little bit I put on, it actually give a pretty good coverage pretty quick. I mean, I would say it's more of a light to medium. Again, I don't know if you're going to be able to get a full coverage out of this, but let's do a little bit with the sponge. So I've got a little bit of my Real Technique sponge here. Let me take a little bit more through here and a little bit more on my nose. And let's just see what it does when we build it up just a tad bit more here. Here, neutral. So normally I don't like neutral. I normally like more of a warm, but it does only come in 22 shades. Of course, without the sunscreen in it, that's going to be a big difference, because with the sunscreen, that can sometimes make your skin look a little ashy. So if you're a darker skin tone, sometimes that can change everything. So that makes a big difference. Without the sunscreen in it, it can really make a big difference. But what do you guys think? It looks really nice. Let me take just a little bit. Let me get a concealer brush, and I'm going to take a little bit in here with it, just a little bit around my nose, a little bit more. And let's take a little bit right here by my lip here too. Yeah, I think that looks good. That looks really awesome. So, I mean, I think that's good. I'm not going to put any more coverage on it. I think that's enough. So I think that looks really, really nice. So, okay. All right. So let's moving on. So it's like, you know, so now we have the Tarte Shape Tape Ultra Creamy Concealer. And, so I'm going to read you on that one as well. So, I mean, you guys know I have to have a printed sheet of paper. I'm like, I have to print out what it says. I'm not one of these that like to do it because on my computer, I have a 13-inch Apple. And it's when I set it down and I try to read it, if I'm like too far from it, because I can't see from far away. I can't see far away. I have to wear my glasses. And I can't read with my glasses on. So the computer, it looks too, I can't see. And I'm like, I can't see from it or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, okay. So I need my actual, I actually have to have it printed out. So anyway, so the Tarte Iconic Tape Shape is now even creamier because it's a 24-hour moisturization. It has a formulated with a built-in eye cream for 24-hour wear. Pigment power of your fave concealer for a more hydrated, never dry look. Full coverage, natural moisturizing matte finish, doesn't cake or settle in the lines. Infused with nourishing prickly pear, hyaluronic acid, ginseng, vegan squalene, metasweet, avocado, mango, shea butters. Cushion tape technology helps to smooth and reduce the look of lines and wrinkles. Delivers a 12-hour crease-proof and waterproof wear, and it's $27. And then this is the actual tube it comes in. It looks just like the original Shape Tape, which I hate. I do not like it at all. It makes me look terrible. And this one, I do have the Shape Tape. I have a miniature one that I use for just whenever I'm doing a cut crease, because it does work really well for that, because it's kind of like a matte. So it goes on like a really soft matte. So I do like that for cut crease, but I do not like it underneath my eyes whatsoever. But that is just like the same doe fit applicator too. So what I'm going to do is, you have to be really careful with this stuff. So I'm going to take a little bit on the back of my hand. I don't want to go with the doe fit because the doe fit always makes me just like I feel like I get way too much on it. So I'm going to take a little bit, because it's still, look, she's pretty thick. She's a thick girl. She's a little bit of a thick girl. So we're going to take a little bit right through here. And by the way, I got the same shade that I have in, or similar. They didn't have mine, I think it's 35 in the creaseless, which is one of my favorite. If you guys are new to my channel, I love the creaseless one because it's got a very dewy finish, and that's what I like in a concealer around my eyes, because sometimes a lot of these other ones don't, if I get something too matte, it just makes me look very crinkly and very old looking. It doesn't look good. So I'm gonna take just a little bit up here. So, and I don't like it to be too light. You know, a lot of people like their concealer really, really light, and I don't like it to look too like I've got white raccoon eyes. I just don't, that's just something I just don't like. But this is a little bit lighter. It's a little different from the other one, but they didn't have the same shade. So they're not exactly identical to the creaseless. They don't have exactly the same identical colors, but anyway, I have been, and just an FYI, I have been using this product about 2 or 3 days. I've used it for about 2 or 3 because I really wanted to see what it does. Personally, it's still a little bit more, because it dries, it's a creamy, but it dries down to like it has a little bit of a matte finish to it. It still makes me feel a little bit more, it just gives it like a little bit more of a, I don't know, it just looks a little bit dry to me. Now on here, it looks okay. But up close, let me turn the light down a minute. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but this is my eye without it, and then with it, and see how it looks a little crinkly there? It looks a little crinkly to me. You know what I'm gonna do on the other side? Let me get my creaseless one, and let's play with that one and see the difference between the two. Okay, so this is the creaseless concealer, and I'm sure you guys, if you've been around, you kind of know that it's a very, very dewy, radiant, full coverage concealer, but it never really dries down. It's just kind of like stays tacky, and it has that really beautiful tack to it. So, this one is in the shade 36B, and then the Shape Tape is 37G. So, they didn't have that. If you guys, my roommate, she is making a shake. So if you hear there might be a noise in the background, it's a blender. She's making a shake. So just to give you a FYI. So I'm going to take a little bit of this and spread it out a little bit. And this one I've used, of course, many times. And I'm actually on my third tube of it because I love it so much. It's just such a beautiful concealer. Looking up close, I mean, it does look a little, this one does look a little drier. You guys can see. This one's got a little bit more glow to it, where this one's a little bit more matte. It's not too bad. I mean, compared to this, because I haven't compared them together yet. I've just been doing this one alone. But it's not too bad. I mean, you know, it does pretty good. I mean, I don't go full crazy with concealer anyway. Usually, especially if I'm gonna do eyes or something, I don't go full crazy with it. But yeah, it's not bad. I mean, you know, compared to the other one, I mean, it's okay. It's still got a little bit of a glow to it, but it's not really bad. But which one do you guys think? I mean, you know, I probably didn't put enough on. I probably need to go back and add. Let me go back and add some more just to give you guys a little bit more of the coverage. I'll go through here with that one. And I'm gonna take just a little bit more with my brush on this one. We're gonna build it up a little bit because why not? We're here, that's what we're doing. So let's build it up a tad bit more. Definitely blurred out my little dent more. I mean, adding more coverage, of course. But what do you guys think? Yeah, I mean, they both look good to me. So, I mean, from afar and in the camera, it looks pretty good. And up close, really, you can't tell a difference, to be honest. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. You can't really tell a difference, which I thought I would, but you really can't. I mean, up close, they look similar. They look almost the same. So you know what, I'm going to go off camera, guys, and finish up doing I'm going to do another video. So actually, this one's going to actually be kind of attached to my Lunchbox Friday because I've got some other stuff that I'm going to be doing in my lunchbox. And this look is kind of going to be continued. So when I come back, it'll be that look already from my Lunchbox video. So if you want to see how I'll do that look, it'll be in my Lunchbox. But, I'm going to go off and do my makeup for that and then come back and then we will be able to see how it really looks or whatever. But as far as like the foundation goes, so far, the foundation looks flawless. I mean, it looks really flawless. I mean, it looks really smooth, pretty. I've still got a little bit of my glow. My skin comes through. You don't see the makeup in the pores. It's not on my nose. And now we'll see maybe after a little while to see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it looks really good. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I think the foundation looks really good so far. The concealers will, I mean, because again, I know that I love this one. This one's still working on me, but who knows? I mean, maybe by the end, because this is the fullest coverage that I've given it. I've usually just done a real sheer one, and maybe that's the reason why I probably haven't cared for it that much so far. But who knows? It may end up becoming my favorite. I know that Tara loves it. She raves about it. So, I mean, actually, I will leave her video connected down in my description box. So if you guys want to see it, she did a full review on just this concealer. And she gives a really, really good full review. So I'll leave that down there if you guys haven't seen it yet. But yeah, so we will see what it looks like when I come back. So I am back. Foundation. So I do have a few things about it. So if you guys notice, it's like, I did a cream contour and I did blush and I did do highlight. And you know me, I do over moisturize. I do know that. But I will say it's still like for it to be a natural matte finish, it got really dewy super fast. And I mean, you know, usually with the natural matte, they usually kind of stay a little bit more on that side. I have to kind of make them look a little bit more dewier. This one, even though I did a highlight, it definitely kind of got on its own. It got a little bit dewier. So, I mean, it still looks really beautiful. It looks really pretty. It didn't separate. And when I put blush and everything on it, it didn't move the foundation around and the foundation stayed. It didn't do any of that or whatever. I'm just saying that if you're a little bit more on the oily side, I had to actually go back because when I got done with the last video, I was a little bit really shiny, especially I had to go back with a little bit of my Infallible down the center. So you're definitely going to have to use a powder with it if you're oily. Of course, you know, you can use a pore primer, you know, something that's very mattifying underneath it to keep it more matte. You know, I didn't do any of that. So I did want it to be more glowy, but it's just a little unusual for it to be a natural matte and for it to be like, it kind of got a little bit, I just felt like it got really glowy. I was like, wow, it got really glowy. So I was even going to use a multi-purpose stick in the last video to give it a little bit more, but I didn't need any glow. I was like, wow, I've got so much going on, I don't need any more. So, so anyway, it's a beautiful foundation. It looks really pretty. I don't know about the wear time of it. I think if you set it with a little bit of powder, and which you're going to have to, I think so, even if you're normal, and I'm, you know, I'm dry, and I mean, you know, and again, I know I over moisturize and I do things like that, to make it glowy underneath so it doesn't look too matte or too cakey. But it definitely, I would definitely consider powdering it, because in that way it'll just stay on a little bit longer. And then as for the concealer, I'm going to be, because I've looked enough in the mirror, I don't really need to look anymore with the concealer. Believe it or not, the Shape Tape one, it looks better. I mean, I don't know what it is about it, but something about it, like because, you know, after I did my eyes, I went back and cleaned up again a little bit with both of the concealers, this one on this side, this one on this side, when I got done with it. So then therefore I've actually added a little bit more coverage on this one and on this one too. And this one, believe it or not, is really shocked me. It looks really good. It looks really smoother. This is the creaseless one, and this one's my favorite. So I know that I love this one, but this one is just really, it's a lot smoother. It looks just a little bit brighter for some reason. And I thought the color might actually be a little weird too, but it actually turned out to be not that bad. I probably would still mix this a little bit with like my Chanel rose corrector to give it a little brightness, a little bit more, but it is really I didn't want to add anything today because I was trying to test out both of them and see which one I like better. But this one is definitely, to me, looks better than this side does with this one. So what do you guys think? I mean, you know, they both look pretty smooth and kind of like radiant, because I didn't set underneath my eyes with the powder whatsoever. I didn't do any powder underneath my eyes. I actually even went back and just to make sure that they didn't get dry, I added a little touch of eye cream over them. But usually the, you know, because this one's supposed to have a built-in eye cream with it, but I still felt like it was just a little bit too matte. So I added just a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury eye cream over it just to give it a little bit more. But it, which helped it, which took away from it, because my eyes are they're really dry these days anyway. So it's not the concealer's fault, it's my eyes. But I really like this. This has really impressed me. I'm really, really impressed with it. And so as far as the Lancome, it's really beautiful. It's like a really beautiful, natural, if you want to, I mean, again, I don't know, it says a certain amount of time that it's supposed to last. It says 24 hour. I don't know about that. I mean, again, I guess it depends on your skin type, the primer, what you put under it, how you powder it, all that kind of stuff. That would mean a lot. I did do just a tad bit of my glass skin spray, just a little bit here. I probably should have used maybe a little bit more of a mattifying spray instead of this one, but this is the one that I had out. So I just kind of did a little bit here, but I didn't do too much. But then again, I went back over it with a little bit of the powder. Now, once I added a little bit of the infallible powder over it, it went to a little bit more. It wasn't so dewy. Because it's a natural matte. So, I mean, but then again, the KVD, it was supposed to be a matte too, and it turned out to be more radiant to me, which I thought was crazy, which thank you so much for all you guys' comments about that, the ones that watched that video, and they were like, oh my God, your skin looks so good in it. It did look really good in it. This one's different. It's a different type of feel and texture than that one is. You know, if I had a choice of the two to choose from, I probably would go with the KVD, because I just feel like it just was just so, something about it I just thought was just really not magical, but it just looked really interesting. It was very cool. But this one is a really beautiful foundation if you want something natural. I mean, it's not going to be this, I mean, it says full coverage. I mean, I don't know, unless you really cake it on. I mean, you keep doing it over and over again. I think the Teint Idole in the liquid, I think it gives you more coverage. So I think if you want more of that medium to full buildable coverage and you need more of a matte, because I think the liquid is more matte than this is. That's just my personal preference, especially after working with the company. I can't use the Teint Idole liquid at all because it makes me look way too matte and it just looks really cakey on my skin. I prefer the Rainergy or the Absolute or the Skin Feels Good, which is another really good one that they have. But I will say this much about, I like it a lot better than the original one, the one with the SPF in it. I love the packaging better. The cap is better. It's creamier. It's not as flat and as matte and as powdery, because that one was a lot more matte than this one. This one's more of a natural matte, where the other one was matte. It was definitely more of a matte, had more of that matte flat look to it, especially if you didn't have anything up underneath it. And then of course, again, if you use a primer that's a little bit more oil absorbing and a powder and you do your normal thing with it, you could definitely probably get a longer wear out of this. If you would be able to get the 24-hour out of it. I don't know if I see a 24-hour in this. I see maybe 8 to 12, maybe, especially if you powder it and stuff. And of course, you can use this for touch-ups and stuff too. So if you wanted to take it with you, it does make it convenient. And you have your little, the little blender on the end. It's like a little brush. It's like a little brush at the blender. Would I ever use it? No, not really. But you can definitely use it, especially if you're going to use a concealer or if you want to use it as a contour or whatever. It is a really good foundation. It is great. It's for $42. I think that's how much it was, 42 or 43. It's a good foundation. You're not getting a lot of product in it for that much. You could get the liquid. And to me, you would get a lot more bang for your buck as far as that one goes, because you get a lot more in it. You get a full ounce in that one. It's if you're looking for more of a matte foundation that's going to long wear and a transfer proof or whatever, I feel like you would get a better option. This to me would be more of a touch-up over top of the liquid. So I think it would be more of a sister pair. I would do more of the liquid and then go with this one. If you wanted to do that, I think you would get more out of it. Because I feel like if you just do this one, you are going to get more of a natural look, but I don't think it's going to last as long, and I don't think it's going to be as matte. So if you're looking for that matte kind of look, I don't think so. But now if you're normal to dry and you want to try something like a natural matte, you don't want anything super dewy or super over the top or something really easy to manage. This is very easy to blend. It's a lot easier to blend than the older one. It's just so much easier to blend. It looks better on the skin. I didn't like the SPF in the other one. Which I think changed the formula a lot. So now it not being in there, I think it's a lot better. So anyway, I hope you guys like it. It looks really pretty. So, you guys will have to let me know down below what you think. What do you think of it? What do you think of the Lancome? What do you think of the Tarte Shape Tape? As far as the two sisters go, like, what do you guys think? So just let me know what your thoughts are. So anyway, I hope you guys like this review. Please come back and see me again. I've got a lot of foundation reviews coming up soon. A lot. There's quite a few foundations that I'm going to be reviewing lately. I have Dior, I have Chanel, I have the Givenchy. I have a lot of really bougie ones coming up. So we're going to be doing a lot of the Westman Atelier. I have that one coming up. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Have a good rest of your day today anyway, and take care, and we will see each other again soon. Bye. Have a good one.